Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May the Divine lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Oh, peace, peace, peace.
This hymn is written by Sharachandra Chakravarti. You are Brahma, O Ramakrishna. You are Rama, you are Krishna. You are Vishnu, you are Shiva. You are all in all. You are with form and you are without form. You are conqueror of lust and gold, incarnation in human form. You are, O compassionate one, we bow down to your holy feet. Tumi Brahma Ramakrishna, Tumi Krishna, Tumi Ram, Tumi Brahma Ramakrishna, Tumi Krishna, Tumi Ram, Tumi Krishna, Tumi Krishna, Prabhu Vishnu Prana Ram, Tumi Brahma Rama Krishna, Tumi Krishna, Tumi Ram, Tumi Brahma Rama Krishna, Tumi Krishna, Tumi Ram, Tumi Adi Adharo, Tumi Brahma Nirakara, Tumi Adi Adhara, Tumi Brahma Nirakara, Tumi no Prarupa Dhara, Vijita Kanaka Kam, Tumi no Prarupa Dhara, Vijita Kanaka Kam, Tumi Brahma Rama Krishna, Tumi Krishna, Tumi Ram, Tumi Brahma Rama Krishna, Aparo Puruna Sindhu, Tumi Deva Dinu Bandhu, Aparo Puruna Sindhu, Tumi Deva Dinu Bandhu, Yatin Kripa Sindhu, Charune Kori Pranam, Yatin Kripa Sindhu, Charune Kori Pranam, Tumi Brahma Rama Krishna, Tumi Krishna, Tumi Ram, Tumi Krishna, Tumi Krishna, Prabhu Vishnu Prana Ram, Tumi Brahma Rama Krishna, Tumi Brahma Rama Krishna, Tumi Brahma Rama Krishna.
I'm reading from the book Shri Sharada Devi and Her Divine Life by Swami Chaitanya. Here the topic is Girish's faith in Holy Mother. Girish Chandra Ghosh says, one day I told Brother Niranjan, here he is referring to Swami Niranjanananda, Brother, it's a pity that I cannot now see Shri Ramakrishna, who is my shelter, my only refuge. Niranjan replied me saying, why? Mother is here. Is there any difference between the master and mother? Can you imagine Narayana without Lakshmi, Shiva without Parvati, Rama without Sita, and Krishna without Radha or Rukmini? I was taken aback. I told him, what do you say? The master and the mother are one and the same. Niranjan replied, well, you believe that Sri Ramakrishna was an avatar, God incarnate in human form. Do you mean to say that he took an ordinary woman, Jiva, as his spiritual partner in his divine life? You must remember the words of our master. Brahman and Shakti are one and the same. Though in manifestation they appear to us as two, Mother is Shakti, the Shakti of the Purna Brahma Ramakrishna. His words cleared my vision, and I at once recognized the Divine Mother, the Mother of the Universe, incarnated as Holy Mother for the salvation of mankind. I felt a strong urge to go to Jairambati and see our Holy Mother, who alone could wipe away my tears and remove my sorrow over my recent adversities. When he reached Jairambati, Girish Ghosh asked the mother, well, mother, are you my real mother or an adopted mother? The mother said, yes, I am your real mother. Further, Girish Ghosh told us in forceful language, pregnant with deep emotion, yes, Mother, the Divine Mother, has appeared as a village poor girl living in a remote hamlet, away from the din and bustle of a town, where life reflects only the formal and artificial ways of worldly wise and sophisticated men and women. I did not ask for anything from mother. One day, at the mother's place at Jairambati, a minstrel, Haridas Vairagi of Deshra, came and sang a Bengali song to the accompaniment of a broken violin. A free English rendering of the song is given below. O Uma, my darling, what good tidings I hear. People say you are adored in Varanasi as Annapurna. Is it true? O Gauri, when I married you to Shiva, he went as a beggar from door to door for a morsel of food. But today, how glad I am to hear you are now queen of the world seated by his side. And they called my naked Shiva a madman. How much abuse I had to bear from everyone. Now I hear that doorkeepers guard his palace. And gods like Indra, Chandra and Yama hardly can meet him. Shiva used to live in the Himalayas. Many a day he got his food by begging. Now he rules over Varanasi and is as rich as Kubera. Is it you who have brought him all this good fortune? No doubt he is very rich now. Else, why should Gauri be so proud? She does not cast her eyes even upon her own children and turns her face away from Radhika. Here Radhika is the composer of the song. When the minstrel finished singing the song, Girish Ghosh, Swami Niranjanananda and others who heard it could not restrain their tears. The mother too shed tears, as did all her women companions. The song reminded them of Holy Mother's early life, when Sri Ramakrishna was often referred to as the mad son-in-law by the people of Jairambati. when her own parents repented giving her in marriage to Sri Ramakrishna, and her neighbors pitied her and expressed sorrow at her miserable fate. She did not and could not then protest, and she humbly suffered all those humiliating remarks in silence, though she knew in her innermost heart that her husband was a God-intoxicated man, far above ordinary people. She tasted divine bliss whenever she came into contact with her husband. She did not go to anybody's house or attend social functions in Jaramati, lest people make humiliating remarks about her husband and blame her for her ill luck. Now that Sri Ramakrishna is revered as a prophet and an avatar, and is worshipped in many places, people come to her for her darshan even in that remote village which is situated in an out-of-the-way place. The Holy Mother is now regarded by many devotees as the Mother of the universe. Yes.
Now a short period of meditation.
Good morning, friends. We had thought of today's topic to talk before Shivaratri. What happened, Sri Ramakrishna's birthday came and we chose to change the topic. And we already spoke about the topic that is assigned for today in the newsletter about Sri Ramakrishna form and formless. And today we'll do the topic that was given for that day, the Shiva, the great rescuer. So we'll be talking about Shiva today. Just we had 1 week ago, we had Shivaratri on 4th, 2 weeks ago. So, Shiva, the great rescuer. Among the trinities in Hinduism, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh are the different godheads responsible for 3 things, they say. The Brahma is for creation of this whole universe, with all living beings and all that, Brahma creates. And the part of sustaining and nourishing the whole creation and making the law that creation goes on, all the natural laws and the nourishment for living beings and for the even for the planets, all this, how they will sustain, how they live, is all responsible is Vishnu. Vishnu the sustainer. But the word Vishnu means who is all pervading, who is present everywhere and is responsible for the running, maintaining of this universe. So wherever there is problem, Vishnu has to, he is supposed to solve the problem in this creation. That's why he takes avatar. He has to come as a human being to solve the problems. Avatar comes when there is big problems. And the third trinity is called Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha, and different names are there for Mahesha. And Shankara, Shiva, one of them is Shiva, of course. And what is Shiva's sign? Shiva is said to be responsible for destruction of the creation. Destruction, that is what it is said. Now, Hindu philosophy says, what is creation? Hindu philosophy says creation itself is ignorance. What we see as we see the world is because of ignorance. What does Shiva destroy? Does he destroy this whole creation? He destroys the ignorance so that we can see the reality. So his destruction is not to destroy the good things. Is Shiva, the very word's meaning is auspicious, good, benevolent, kind. That is all contained in the word Shiva. So he is very kind, very friendly, very benevolent, very helpful. And why he is found in the story in the lores of mythology, that how he comes to rescue when Brahma and Vishnu, who is responsible, doesn't find enough energy, enough power to protect the thing. When big trouble comes, small troubles, Vishnu takes care. Big troubles, huge troubles, when Vishnu and Brahma cannot do, where they rush? They all rush to Shiva, please protect this creation. Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara are also part of the creation. Without the heaven is also part of the creation. So if you go beyond creation, if you go beyond causation, then it becomes Brahman. It becomes that ultimate reality, that formless reality, that infinite reality, with beyond even our thoughts. We cannot even think of what infinity is, what an ultimate, unchangeable, unformed, uncreated reality is. So when we think of this reality, we have to think in Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, and that Trinity creates this visible universe, this perceptible universe, and this perceptible universe is sustained by three deities. And Shiva, though said destruction, is actually the destruction of, he makes the destruction of ignorance so that we can see the truth. So that's why you love Shiva. We don't love Shiva where you'll come one day and kill us, you'll come one day and destroy the whole universe. Not that. For taking the souls away. It's not even killing. Soul comes, takes this body, and body work is done. Now body has to go, move from here. So who is assigned for that job? Yama. Yama is the one who actually takes away the soul. That is the concept that we call death. But that is a process of taking away, releasing the soul from the prison of this body. That's what is called death. That is terrible in our view and point, but it is a necessary part of life. It is the culmination of life, all the beauty of life, and it is culminated at the end. And that end is always good. So we are unnecessarily afraid of death, and death is not of the person, death is of this material body going back to its own elements, own things that compose this body. They are released and freed into their own atoms and molecules. That is called death. So death is misnomer, and the fear of death is because of our ignorance. Shiva comes here and makes us, if we can understand what death is and are fearless of death, then Shiva has given us boon to us. Shiva had made our third eye open. That's why Shiva, they say, has the third eye. When the third eye is open, you are free from all fears. No worries, no fear. You are always in a state of bliss. That is called opening of the third eye. That's called being Shiva. Shiva, the word auspiciousness, is not only a person or a being or an anthropomorphic form. It is in fact a state. And Buddha is not the name of a person, it is a state. Buddha himself said, Buddha is a state which everyone should attain. I am Shakyamuni, I have attained Parinirvana, I have attained that state of knowledge. That's why I am called Buddha, Bodhi I have attained. So everyone can attain the state of Bodhi and can become Buddha. Like that is Shiva is also a state that we all, what type of state? It's a state when you are free from the false attraction of this world, which ultimately give you trouble. You are at peace, Shiva, and you are powerful, fearless and unconcerned with the world's reaction on you. You become very strong in that way. state. That's called the state of Shiva. You are in fact in a very blessed state. When we are not affected by the world, we don't become inert. We become very powerful and strong. That's called the Shiva state. And we are in the state of bliss. Ultimate peace that doesn't change. That is the name of Shiva. So attaining Shiva is our goal. Shiva would. We want to be Shiva would. We want to attain. There are so many stories that in the mythology that how Shiva always came to rescue the earth from the humanity, the gods that it is said. You know, gods and Asura always in mythology there are two things. There are two different beings. It is two different propensities in one human being, the good and evil. The both are in us. When good propensities become strong in us, we see it's godly. When evil comes and takes possession of us, we say this is an evil man, bad person. But those, they both exist, and there is always a fight between good and bad, Asura and Deva. So we want to strengthen the Deva. And how does this Deva or good qualities become strong? When we take shelter in the divine. When we pray to Shiva, we become empowered. Our positive forces, our good forces become empowered, and they can conquer the evil forces, evil tendencies that are in us. So we want that. That's why this is called Asura and Deva. Now, one of the famous story how Shiva rescued is Samudra Manthana. The gods, Yama, Varuna, Agni, Indra, all they met with their rivals, the Asuras, and said, we have heard that in Shri Samudra there are a lot of good things, a lot of wealth. So why not to bring that back up? Samudra is too deep. How to bring that up? So they had seen that curd being churned and butter coming up. To say, if we churn the ocean, all the good butter is supposed to be the essence of the yogurt, of the buttermilk. And when they churn, it comes up and we can take it separately. So there is something that is hidden in this, and we churn and we get all good things. And then what will happen? Then we will distribute it equally among both of us. That was decided. Now, how to churn is not a small pot, you churn butter, yogurt and milk out, take out the butter. Huge ocean you have to churn. So they approach, now they are starting approach. They first said, we will make the cord for churning, the mountain Sumeru, the huge mountain as the cord for churning cord, the churning rod. Then how will you tie the churning rod on two sides? One pulls one way, churns one side, and another side please put another way, another hand. People do with two hands, churns another way. But here it's too huge. So they said, we will request the king of snakes, serpents, Vasuki, to help us to churn the churning rod of Mount Sumeru in the ocean. Now everybody agreed, okay, you are trying to find something good that is hidden. Let the good come out and you become possessor of goodness. Who will not want goodness to be possessor of goodness? So Sumeru agreed, Vasuki agreed, Asura, then they came and they started churning. And after when they were churning, this huge mountain started sinking in the ocean. The ocean was so deep, even Sumeru could sink in that. Now how to have the solid base on which the churning rod could be churned? So they went and requested Vishnu. So we are unable to do something, is failing, we don't know how to help here. We have found the highest mountain that is also sinking in this ocean. Then Vishnu said, don't worry, I'll take this form of a huge tortoise, and on my back you put that churning rod, I will be in the ocean, on the base of the ocean, and you can then do that on my back, the hard shell. That's how the story goes. Now they were all eager to have. Actually, they had heard that there is Amrita, immortality, elixir of immortality there. And they didn't know much of that. But before the good things came, when they started churning, suddenly they were unaware of them, surprisingly came poison. The poison was very strong poison. The poison was so strong that it could destroy whole life in this earth. So what to do? Now they went to Vishnu, said, I have no capacity to neutralize it. It is coming out. They started churning, it has come out. Now who will do? Brahma? No, I cannot do. Creator also doesn't know about that. The sustainer also doesn't know about that. Then Shiva heard that. They are in big trouble. Whole creation will be lost. Whole purpose will be lost. Vishnu, the sustainer, is not able to sustain this thing. This is a big trouble, big problem came. Suddenly it came. Who will rescue the life, the creation? Then Shiva said, I can do it. Because it was so poisonous, every drop will destroy the whole creation. And so poisonous thing, how is he going to solve the problem? He said, give me that again. He spread his hand, took the poison. He was unaware, somewhere he was sitting, unaware of what they were doing. All gods and goddesses were already in that process of what to come out. Shiva was aloof from this worldly thing. Let the good come, bad come. He was not aware, he didn't need anything. But when really problem came, Shiva took that poison and he drank that. It was so poisonous, it could, even a small droplet could kill the creation, the planet, the life. But Shiva, being great God, that's why Mahadeva, Maheshwara, and Devuka Dev, it's the God of gods is Shiva. That's how the Shiva is depicted in Hindu mythology, is a great God. And Shiva drank that. And Shiva is not only the person, he is the universe form. So if that goes to his belly, it is said, whole creation lies in the belly of Shiva. Though it is a human form, but it goes, it becomes destructible. So what he did, he put that poison in the neck. And Shiva's neck also got burned, it became blue, that's why it is known as blue-throated God, blue-necked God, Nilakantha. It is how Shiva always rescues the creation. Shiva the great rescuer. When everybody fails, then Shiva comes. There was Asura again, Tarakasura was his name. And Taraka did a lot of penance and pleased Brahma that I should not be killed. Then Brahma said, that doesn't happen. Then Brahma said, may Shiva's son only if he can kill, I can be killed. Otherwise nobody should kill. And Shiva, Sati had already died because of he was insulted by Sati's father. But that is Shiva's father-in-law. Not all father-in-laws are like that, but Shiva's father-in-law was like that. Shiva, as the story you read just now, Shiva used to live in cremation ground, didn't want anything worldly. He used to be very, very different from the other common people. So the father-in-law was very upset with his daughter. Why she is loving this person who is almost mad, living in the cremation ground, nothing concerned with the world, doesn't wear even proper dress, smears ashes from the fire. That type of person my daughter loves. So he hated Shiva, but Sati loved and got married to Shiva. Then when Shiva came to one celebration in his father-in-law's house, Shiva insulted. And Shiva didn't come. Sati came and she said many bad things about Shiva. And Sati died of this sorrow of insult of her own husband. And when Shiva heard this, he became very, very mad of anger. He became very angry, his wife was dead, and ultimately that father-in-law was dead and he was again reborn. And he was again given life, like those stories there. But this Tarakasura had prayed that I should not be killed by anyone except Shiva's son. Shiva had no son, he was not married. Now God said to Parvati, the daughter of Parvata, Himalaya, that please ask Shiva in your marriage and get married to Shiva. He got married and had a son called Kartika, Murugan, Kartyavirya, some name is there. There is very popular deity in South India, Murugan. And in Durga Puja also we worship Kartika as the first son of, the second son actually, of Shiva and Parvati. He is the commander-in-chief of God's army, Kartika. It's very powerful. So he killed Tarakasura and saved from that. Tarakasura had 3 sons. They were Tarakaksha, Kamalaksha and Vidyunmani. 3 sons were there. Very powerful, asuras, very powerful. They were so powerful that they started creating. They created 3 cities in heaven. in space and revolving, and as the Asuras, they were demons, they had no good intentions, they were troubling the creation. Now how to destroy that? So Vishnu again was in trouble, he cannot destroy them, and then ultimately Vishnu and Brahma went to Shiva, and can you, when they come together, can you just burn these three cities with one arrow? He said yes. So Vishnu became charioteer, and the divine chariot was brought, Brahma became charioteer, Vishnu himself became the arrow of fire, and Shiva on his ark, when they had come together all three, he stretched the arrow, and he shot the arrow by stretching the bow, and it burned all three cities. That's why Shiva is called Tripurantaka, who destroyed three cities. Tripurari. Tripura means three cities. It is symbolic. What are three cities actually? Three cities are our body. Sthula Sarira, Sukshma Sarira, and Karana Sarira. What is the destruction of three bodies? It destroys all three bodies. This is our identification with physical body, with subtle body, with causal body. Shiva has that power to destroy our identification with these three bodies and give us the knowledge of our true self. Identification with true self called Atma Jnana. That's why Shiva is known as Tripurari or Tripurantaka, who can destroy that. He rescues us from ignorance. So that is another. Now, there is often in society gender bias. Who is greater? Men are bigger or women are bigger. Women are powerful or men are powerful. And there is so much in society the thing. But Shiva once found that this trouble is going on. Some say, women say we are powerful, men say we are powerful. Shiva says, no, these two are not separate, they are all one. How to demonstrate that? How to show this to the world? That men and women are two wings of one bird. That's called human life. Both are needed, both are to be equally strong for the society to fly well, advance ahead. And Shiva himself one day appeared as Ardhanarishwara. No other god could do it. Half of the body was male, Shiva, half was Parvati. So he appeared in that to show that God is neither male nor female, but a combination of both qualities, feminine and masculine. That is what the God is. So God can be he, God can be she. Like that is the human society. It is not the man powering or woman powering. It is both should have the equal power to run the society well. Swami Vivekananda was very fond of that bird with two wings theory, that both should be equally empowered for the betterment of human life and human society. Shiva wanted, Shiva and Vishnu, though often there was Shaivites and Vaishnavites. Some people, they love Shiva more than Vishnu, and another love Vishnu more than Shiva. And for nothing, they start fighting, my God is greater. Shiva says, Vaishnavite says Vishnu is greater, and Shaivite says Shiva is greater. And there is a large follower of both. There are no followers of Brahma as such. Somehow, there are no Brahmic followers. There are Shiva followers and there are Vishnu followers. So, now how to make these people understand this? There is no quarrel. We are two aspects of same Godhead. We are not different. So it is often tried to depict that Shiva and Brahma, or Shiva and Vishnu are all together. So Shiva repeats the name of Rama, and Rama is the incarnation of Vishnu. And what does Vishnu does? Vishnu does japam at the Shivalinga. If you go to Trivandrum, there is a temple of Ananta Shayana Vishnu. And there, Vishnu is doing japam over the Shivalinga. He is repeating the name of, I don't not said, but he is adoring Shiva, worshipping Shiva. That is shown from the ancient times, but we foolishly try to say Shiva is greater because I follow Shiva, Vishnu is greater because that another person follows Shiva. We are in fact not much worried about Vishnu or Shiva, generally those people. They are worried about themselves. They are trying to make that we are greater because whomever we say we worship is greater. This is all about ignorance, and this ignorance creates egotism. Egotism is a product of ignorance. If we are wise, learned, then this egotism is not there. And that's why this quarrel comes, this conflict comes because of ignorance. There was one, that's why Shiva wanted to help Vishnu as the incarnation of Rama. Vishnu has to take the incarnation of Rama to destroy Ravana. Ravana was Asura, creating all sorts of problems. What was the main problem of Ravana? He was very egotistic. That made Ravana Ravana. Otherwise, he was very learned. He knew all the scriptures. He was son of some great pedigree. He had born in a great progeny. But he was very egotistic, and he was very powerful also. And that made him Asura, egotism. Now this Ravana had to be destroyed. He was creating a lot of problems in the good world. And how to destroy it? Again, problem of what? Vishnu had to come as born as a human being as Rama. And Rama was born. Now Rama alone is difficult to, Ravana was so big that Vishnu alone is not enough to conquer Ravana. He needs the help of Shiva. Now how does Shiva came? Shiva came in the form of Hanuman. Hanuman came and he had all the qualities of Shiva. He was great, he was powerful, he was very wise. It is said that Tulsidas describes about Hanuman. He says, Jnaninam Agraganyam. He was the leader among the wise. And it says, Jnana Guna Sagara. So he is the ocean of knowledge and good qualities. There are so many of good qualities and tremendous knowledge. It is a mind, it is an ocean of that. That's how he describes Jnana Guna Sagara. And Shiva, another quality that Hanumanji had. He was very humble, though very powerful, but very humble, and he came to assist Rama as the attendant and servant of Rama in destroying Ravana. That's how Rama could not destroy Ravana without Hanuman. Hanuman was so important in the life of Rama. Similarly, Vishnu and Shiva both go together to protect this, our wonderful creation. Both are important, but Shiva is always there whenever there is problem. Ravana could be killed because of Hanuman. And Hanuman's humility is humility to Rama. You know the story of, he didn't know anything other than his devotion to Rama is something we can learn. What sort of devotee we should be to God. So, as Sri Krishna said in the Gita, that's Abhyavicharini bhakti. I need the bhakti which is not contaminated, pure bhakti, then I will reveal myself to you. What is the Abhyavicharini bhakti? One-pointed devotion, devotion to God, trying to find the God at the highest. Your Ishta should be your most wanted thing. So, Hanuman was once given by Rama one necklace of pearl. And Hanuman got it. Instead of wearing it and being happy, he started breaking the pearls with his teeth. And was breaking and seeing something and throwing that. Breaking, and it was so important thing. And then Lakshmana said, he really taken the form of Hanuman monkey. He has become monkey. He has no other quality. He asked Rama. Rama said, you yourself asked Hanuman what he is doing, why he is doing that. So Hanuman was asked, what are you doing? This pearl was given by Rama, it's so sacred, it's so precious, and you are throwing every pearl, breaking. No, I am seeing inside whether there is Rama inside the pearl or not. If there is no Rama, it has no value for me. If something is not associated with our Ishta, with our God, that becomes valueless. That was the extent of the devotion of Hanuman that we learned from Hanuman, who was supposed to be born with Shiva quality. Shiva takes the form of Nataraja. You have seen the picture of Nataraja, the image of Nataraja. And on the base of Nataraja there is a small human figure. You know what is that? That is Asura, called Apasmara. Apasmara represents ignorance, Apasmara represents ego, and he was challenging Shiva. Shiva took the form of a dancer and he controlled the Apasmara under his feet. So that Nataraja is representative of destroying ignorance and promoting the arts, music, dance. These are all beautiful culture and art that represents. And you'll be surprised to know, I just heard yesterday that in CERN, one big, where the atoms are broken, in Switzerland there is one lab, huge lab, where atoms are broken and study on atoms are done. But it is a universal, international lab, and there is one image, statue is there, and that is of Shiva. Huge statue of Nataraja in CERN kept in that scientific laboratory. There is a statue of Shiva. I have not seen it in the paper, but I heard from one person who must have told me to see that. Nataraja represents that cosmic energy which will destroy ignorance and egotism and keep that under control, and will promote art and culture and beauty of this creation of humanity. And that's what the CERN is meant for, how to make the best use of nuclear power by understanding nature of atoms. Shiva accepted Nandi, old bull, where it will go, always coming to rescue. Where will they go? There are ganas, hobgoblins and ghosts. They have no place to go. Everyone hates them. They come to Shiva, can I be with you? Nobody accepts us. Shiva says, come. Whoever finds nowhere to go, Shiva is always ready to give them shelter. That is Shiva. If we find, there is nobody, Shiva is always with us. When we have nobody to rescue, to solve the problem, Shiva is there. There is one beautiful story of Markandeya. Markandeya was the son of Mrikandu. He didn't have a child, and he prayed to Shiva to have a son. Shiva was pleased with his prayer and penance and said, I can give you son, but you have to choose from two conditions. One is ordinary son with ordinary intellect and living regular human life. Another very brilliant, wonderful looking, but short life of 16 years. Which one you choose? That I will grant. Markandeya thought, why should have dull, ordinary human beings? Muhurtam jalitam sreya natu dhuma itam chiram. That it is. If you want to live a human life, it's better to be a blazing fire even for a moment, but not too long you live and only you produce smoke, no fire, no light, no heat, nothing. So blazing, brilliance, that is important. Muhurtam jalitam sreya natu dhuma itam chiram. So Mrikandu said, give me that boy, wonderful, exceptional, extraordinary. Maybe then after that he cannot say anything. Give me that. He chose that. But the boy was really good. Markandeya was born, son of Mrikandu, and exceptionally loved by all, wonderful looking, and so brilliant that he mastered all shastras like Shankaracharya had done. He also started mastering the shastras, intelligent, lovable, charming. Slowly his life is advancing, more advancing, more brilliant, more love came, people started knowing. But parents started becoming sad. One day he had come around 15 years of age, then parents broke to him and started crying. The boy said, did I do something wrong? Why are you so sad? Why are you crying? Then they revealed what Shiva had given. Now when he completes 16 years, when he becomes 16, then he will die that day. That was the thing. So that day what he did, Markandeya went to Shiva temple, held the Shiva Linga, started praying to Shiva, and then it was complete. The moment came, Yamaraja comes, and now he's praying to Lord, and then Shiva becomes so pleased. He said to Yamaraja, you have to make exception in this case. He is exceptionally devoted to me, so you go away from this. You cannot take his soul, though it was destined to leave this month, but his prarabdha will change because of my blessing, and he will live much longer. He became Markandeya Rishi and wrote a book Purana named Markandeya Purana in his name. So like that, Markandeya's story, who is devoted to God. Even prarabdha is defied the change by the grace of God is so powerful. Shiva can do that. When there was a problem of life and death, Shiva came to rescue to Markandeya. And you know the story of Narada. Narada was a great devotee of Vishnu, always repeating the name Narayana. So one day he found a nice place, he sat for meditation, went to deep meditation. It was so deep, Indra got afraid. Then Indra said, oh, he will take my chair, he will take my position. So he sent his people to destroy meditation. Narada was not moving. Then finally he sent Kamadeva. Kamadeva is the god of lust. And he tried to disturb his meditation. Narada was unmoved. He was a devotee of God. Then after that, Kamadeva said, I came to disturb you, but I failed, I am going back. Then Narada thought, oh, Kamadeva, earlier also he tried to disturb Shiva's meditation. Then Shiva had become very angry and now Shiva fire came from Shiva's eyes and he burned Kamadeva. What? I was not angry even. I controlled not only lust, I could control anger. Shiva could not control anger. Oh, perhaps I am greater than Shiva himself. So this type of ego, pride entered into the heart of this wonderful devotee of God. Ego coming. Now he was in the forest meditating, such a great thing came to him. He conquered lust and conquered anger, which even Shiva didn't do. Now, whom to say this? Nobody knows. Who will praise this great success? So, whom to say? He went to Shiva and told the story. He didn't say anything, but I conquered lust and I was not angry like you, Lord. Shiva said, okay. Shiva understood everything. Now he knew that ego has come to him, that was very bad. He said, well, fine, you did wonderful, but don't go on telling this story and don't tell this to Narayana, to Vishnu. So he said, oh, Shiva is afraid that this glory will come, I will be said more glorious than Shiva, and then I should not tell to anyone. As Shiva said not to do, he did exactly reverse and went to Vishnu and told this story. They talk of anger, they talk of lust. Lord, I conquered everything, lust and anger. But what has come by conquering that? Ego has entered, who is the root of all destruction in a human being. This pride, false ego, this ego is the cause of destruction of a human being, destruction of personality. So Vishnu said, okay, so you will understand that. And the story goes how Vishnu then removes the pride that had entered into Narada's heart. So like that, there is another story that. But this is how Shiva comes to rescue, and he tried to rescue Narada from this thing. He must have told to Narada, so knows that Narada will definitely go to Vishnu if I say don't go there, and then he should be removed from this egotism has to be removed from heart, as it was done. So this is how the Shiva, the great rescuer, the Mahadeva, the Shankara, that comes to us whenever we need. Shiva is also called Asutosha. No other deity is said to be pleased so easily in Hindu lore. Shiva is happy with anything you give. He doesn't want very nice flower. Wild flowers, put on his head, Shiva Linga. He doesn't need even beautiful image. He just wants Shiva Linga. If you can have Shiva Linga of the stone put on the ground, or you can even make Shiva Linga of clay, you can make Shiva Linga of the sand, any form that makes it looks like, reminds you of Shiva. And how to worship? Any leaf you bring, the wild bilva leaves that grow in the forest, the thorny bush, thorny tree, put that and you pour water. If it's holy water from Ganga, it's more better, but any water, Gange, Yamuna, whatever you say, and that Ganga comes and Shiva is pleased. With mere leaf and flower, leaf and water. And if you find some flower, you don't need marigold and you don't need nice roses and dahlia, anything. Any this called bushy plant that grows along sides in roadsides in India called akanda. Wild, roadside white flower. That is dear to Shiva, what you will say. Dhutra is another plant that grows wild. That Dhutra is dear to Shiva. Dhutra fruit is dear to Shiva. So that is Shiva, which doesn't need anything extravagant. Any simple thing what he sees at the heart. So, and you put there and pray, Lord, please take my worries and anxieties, make me pure and grant me knowledge, grant me devotion, may I not hurt anyone. And Shiva is Ashutosa, he listens to your prayer and he grants, if it is done with sincerity and faith. Not even anything, you don't have to have any human image, beautiful image, decorated with clothes and ornament, nothing. Only a form that you think God is present there. That is called Ashutosa, easily pleased. Ashutosa means that is Shiva. And Swami Vivekananda said something about Shiva with this reading. I'll close my today's talk. Swamiji's talk. Unless the man is pure in body and mind, his coming into a temple and worshipping Shiva is useless. The prayers of those that are pure in mind and body will be answered by Shiva, and those that are impure and yet try to reach religion to others will fail in the end. External worship is only a symbol of internal worship, but internal worship and purity are the real things. Without them, external worship would be of no avail. Therefore, you must all try to remember this. He who sees Shiva in poor, in the weak, and in the diseased really worships Shiva. And if he sees Shiva only in the image, his worship is but preliminary. He who has served and helped one poor man, seeing Shiva in him, without thinking of his caste or creed or race or anything, with him Shiva is more pleased than with the man who sees him only in temples. He who wants to serve Shiva must serve his children, must serve all creatures in this world first. It is said in the Shastras that those who serve the servants of God are his greatest servants. So you will bear this in mind. Let me tell you again that you must be pure and help anyone who comes to you as much as lies in your power. And this is good karma. By the power of this, the heart becomes pure, and then Shiva, who is residing in every one, will become manifest. He is always in the heart of everyone. If there is dirt and dust on a mirror, we cannot see our image. So, ignorance and wickedness are the dirt and dust that are on the mirror of our hearts. Selfishness is the chief sin. Thinking of ourselves first. He who thinks, I will eat first, I will have more money than others, and I will possess everything. He who thinks, I will get to heaven before others, I will get mukti before others, is the selfish man. The unselfish man says, I will be last. I do not care to go to heaven. I will even go to hell if by doing so I can help my brothers. He who has more of this unselfishness is more spiritual and nearer to Shiva. Whether he is learned or ignorant, he is nearer to Shiva than anybody else, whether he knows it or not. And if a man is selfish, even though he has visited all the temples, seen all the places of pilgrimage, and painted himself like a leopard, he is still further off from Shiva. So he said Shiva, power comes through human beings, through the creatures in this world. Hanuman, where the Shiva Shakti was, the Shiva's power was manifest. In our times, in our closest being, in Shri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda, we find Shiva's power manifesting. Swami Vivekananda, when he used to meditate like Shiva and Buddha. So his benevolence, his sacrifice, all are not less than Shiva himself. So we find that in Sri Ramakrishna, we find from his very birth, he was blessed by Shiva, and all the qualities of Shiva are there. Like Shiva being Ashutesa, pleased with little prayer and little purity of heart, and coming just surrendering to him. Sri Ramakrishna is also always ready to accept us if we have little faith in him and little prayer. He pleased with prayer and our pure and selfless life.